Hey guys, it's Dave. I had a couple students ask me more questions about the spot color and the duotone. This is one assignment with two different images you're going to submit. So first of all, you're going to be submitting a duotone and a spot color. And they're asking me a little bit more about the pen tool. So I decided I'm going to show you guys kind of how I created this image, iBeer. Okay? So first thing I kind of do here is that find a picture of a beer, and this is a Corona beer, okay, and then you have a picture of a little Mac symbol, and then let me see which one, picture of a computer. So I'm getting three separate images, and I'm going to take each one and I'm going to separate it from its background. So what I'll do for you guys is I'll just do the first one, the Corona, show you how to use the pen tool, how to create a spot color with that one, and then you can compose your own image. So we'll grab the Corona real quick. I love this commercial, by the way. I'm just going to crop it, so all I really want is the beer bottle. So I'm going to go ahead and crop that out using the crop tool. Before I do any kind of pen tool, I make sure I'm on full screen mode and I'm zoomed in pretty tight. I want you guys really to use the pen tool because all you guys are going to do this. Oh, hopefully I'll do the quick selection tool. Watch, it'll be fantastic. Dave will never know. It'll be awesome. I hit Command J, which pops it up to its own layer. See, and it's, oh, isn't that beautiful? And I'll go, no. Okay, this is an ugly selection. So I will zoom in that tight on your guys' selections, okay? It might seem like it takes a little time to do the pen tool, but trust me, it's the best way to make a selection. Okay, I might as well start practicing now, especially if you're ever going to do Illustrator. So I just zoom in pretty tight. I want to see pixels when I'm starting to do this. I grab the pen tool, I make sure I'm on this middle button here. You have three buttons up here. I'm going to make sure I'm on this one, okay? And you can select rubber band mode if you want to. Come down here and kind of make an anchor point, and I click and I let go of the mouse. I'm kind of nailing that anchor point in, and then you can see it's attached here still. So I click, and what I'm trying to do is get between the colored pixels here and the sky background. I mean, nothing can be absolutely perfect, but this is as good as it's gonna get when you are using the pen tool. So I click. That's kind of a straight line, but now I want to do a curve. Okay, so I click, I hold down the mouse, and I move it. See how I'm moving the handles? I'm still holding down on the mouse, and I just kind of go up towards the angle of the beer bottle. Okay, and if I want to change this handle or this handle, I hold down the Alt key. This handle or this handle. If I hold down the Alt key, see, I do that. Okay. If I want to move this anchor point right here, I hold down the Command or the Control key, and I can move that. See? A lot of times I'll just grab this handle and move it to where I want the next path to go. So I click, let go, click, and this is going to be a curve. See how that curves right there? So I'm going to curve, and I'm going to do that. And it's also kind of handy. A lot of students, they have trouble with this little extended handle right here. So if you just Alt or Option click, it gets rid of it. So a lot of students find it easier just to click and kind of hold it down and try to get that curve. See, I'm just holding down the mouse and getting the curve, and then I click that middle handle, and it pretty much gets rid of the handle that's sticking out, you know. So go all the way around this piece. Just kind of do the best you can when you're doing it, but please do use the pen tool. I'll click, and the more you use it, the quicker you'll get at. I'm just pressing the space bar, by the way, guys, if you're wondering how I'm navigating quickly. You'll get used to it. Just practice on it. So this video will probably be in a couple parts, so it won't be too long. I know some of you have had classes here at Eastfield. Should know how to use the pen tool. We pretty much force you time and time again to use the pen tool, which is good. So if you know how to use the pen tool and you're still watching this, then you can probably just stop. But if you don't, keep watching. I click a little anchor point there, hold down the space bar, and try to get in between these pixels. And this is a curve right here, so I'm going to try to go a little bit farther down, and I'm going to curve it. See, I'm just clicking and dragging it down to make that curve. You can't really do that with the lasso tool, so start using this pen tool. This is a nice little straight line here, so I can just go down on it. You notice I'm trying to get inside to separate from the beach. I wish I was drinking a Corona on a beach. Alright, so we come down here. Here's another little curve here, so I'm going to click over here, click and drag to get that curve. I'll click the middle. I used to make my students sing a song. Click, spacebar, drag, alt, click the middle. I won't make you guys do that. You can if you want to. Whoops, hit the wrong one. Alt, and I'll curve that one again. The less points you can have on a selection, the better. So I mean, you could probably go down and just click, 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 but you know, that's probably not a very good selection. Another curve up here, click, drag, I'll click it, click, and click. Now I've formed a path around that beer bottle, so I have to click on my paths palette, and you'll see this work path there. I always save my work paths. You can just save it as path 1, or you can put beer on there. Depends if there's a whole bunch of stuff you're trying to get out. And then I click this button, it's the third one over, and it's the selection tool. If you go back to your layers and hit Command J, you'll see now this beer is on its own layer. Yay, team! Okay. So now that I've got this beer on its own layer, I can turn this into a spot color by doing an image, mode, grayscale, don't merge, just discard that. And since it's now on its own layer, I can come over here and command or control click. See, I'm right on top of the image here. Control click it and see, it puts a selection around it. So I go to path, okay, or I go to my channels, I'm sorry, go to your channels, new spot channel, and I can turn it any of those Pantone colors. Remember, bad, good. So I hit OK. Okay, now I've got this yellow beer, okay? Now, some people are asking, like, well, that's really dark. Well, if you look, let me make this so you can see it a little bit better. That's under your panel options. Okay, it's all black, so it's going to fill it pretty dark with that spot color. Here's a little trick. If you control or command click it, it highlights it here. So what I can do, if I were to fill this with a light shade of gray, watch what happens here. So I double click this, and this is okay here to use the color picker because we're just doing different shades of gray. And I move this up. See, right now it's real dark. If I move it up, I hit OK, and then I fill that. Okay, don't do content aware. You don't want to do that. Okay, and just fill it with a foreground color. And see how it lightens up now? So this is based on how dark the black to white ratio is. If it's like a medium gray, you only fill it up a little bit. If we fill that now with, let's say, white, it's just going to look black and white. See, there's nothing there. If we fill that with black, you now have a yellow beer. And remember, it's cool that you can change the color. So if you want a red beer, which would be kind of weird, you hit OK. And see, that color's really strong. So this would be an occasion where you want to fill that with like maybe a 50% gray, and hit OK. And it fills it and just gives it a tint. So it depends on what you're doing. You know, kind of look at it and say, okay, maybe that doesn't look too good. So you could just do the lime if you wanted to, and just have this like spot color green lime. So it's really up to you. And this is the spot color. Okay. So let me go ahead and open that finished one. Hit open. Okay, and what I did here is I have everything on its own layer. So let me hide everything. See, I separated the computer. This is a Mac. I brought in the beer. Okay, got myself a little logo, and let me show you kind of what that one's like. On normal, you know, it's out there, and you could try to use free transform. You know, do a warp on it, and you can kind of warp it out a little bit if you want to make it look like it's part of the beer. Okay, have some fun with it. Really bad color though, so this is a good reason. Hey, duotone. Okay, now I can change this to like a screen, and you can see it kind of fades in there. Do an overlay. You know, try some different stuff. Try like maybe a soft light and see what happens. So it's just kind of noticeable, and you can see the stuff on there. So play around with it a little bit. After you use something like this, go ahead and hit free transform. You know, play around with the warp, make it look like maybe it's on the back of it. You move it up a little bit, move it down, move this up, so it gets like the curvature of the beer bottle in the back. Mess around with it, you should have some fun. Okay, so now it's all warped, so it looks like it's behind there. And I just typed an I and beer. Okay, but when you get to this point, then you can turn this into a duotone mode, and then we'll grayscale it. Don't flatten, discard, and then mode duotone, and hit OK. So there's your duotone. You'd save this, you'd hand this one in. So go back in time, it's in grayscale. Channels. What's good now is that these are on all the individual layers. Okay, so let's say I just want to do the Mac one. Command click it, channel, new spot channel, and hit OK. See, and now we have a, let's do something because we like blue, a spot color. Okay, so that's kind of how it's done. Just it's much easier if you guys compose an image, bring different stuff in. Remember, it doesn't have to be literal. It can be fun. You know, it can be, you know, play around with it a little bit. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Okay. By the way, this is one huge recording, so I'm not going to do another one.